Let's get, wow, okay. I was gonna start recording and then someone already recorded. Very good. So hi everyone. Thanks a lot for joining this space. I hope you had your dinner already. In case you haven't, it's all right. Maybe so we just had lunch. So anyways, welcome everyone. So as what we talk about in the Telegram group, we're going to talk about regional co-sales and also talk about the revenue sharing model and stuff. And of course, how this space is going to work is basically we're going to have Sumi to basically deliver a keynote for us where she'll be talking about like basically the entire mechanism and like how much each entity can get when you're basically doing co-sales with RO. And just for your information, like all the APMCPs have also got this info in a previous call by Sumi. So this one is, of course, like reminding all of you on that. And of course, if you want the entire like detailed list of how everything works, you can always check out the global ER principles if you go to the like the relevant documents online. But of course, we know like not everyone has the time to read the entire like, I don't know, hundreds of pages. So that's why we have a condensed course today for us. So yeah, we're going to start with Sumi first, and then just make sure you pay attention, you take notes, and you don't have to screenshot. Like we're going to release the slides and the output and the Zoom recording as well. So just pay attention and like just jot down all your questions. Later on, you'll have a chance to basically ask like any queries or questions that you have, and we'll stay behind to answer them. So yeah, without any further ado, I'll pass the time to Sumi.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm really happy to see so many of you here today in the call. And we don't have like complicated slides. I literally have 4 basically summary of the parts of the ER principles that might be the most relevant for you. So yes, right now, just an update in terms of like how regional office is working together with the entities. Right now, we have ongoing co-sales like open sales together with ISAC in Malaysia, ISAC in Australia, and ISAC in Hong Kong. So with these 3 entities, we have either partnerships in discussion in like advanced stages, or we are actively just like collaborating with them to get their partners engaged with our regional touchpoints as well. So yes, in this presentation, like I've also attached the semester 2 proposal, for example, basically the remaining months of 2021, the initiatives that are happening, and how you can sell them with like pricing and everything. So I will also be sharing that with you soon. I mean, it's there in the presentation already, but once I stop speaking, I can share it with you. So right now, there are 3 opportunities for you based on the ER principles. And the first one is basically the expansion sales model number 2. And according to that sales model number 2, it's about your current existing national partners, basically entity partners. And according to this model, you do not necessarily need to like transfer the contract to a regional partnership, but basically you sell the regional initiatives, the regional conference or the regional events to your existing partners, and they remain your partners. So it's like kind of a one-time thing in a year. And yeah, so they stay with your partner and you do not like, they still remain your key contract. You are the contract owner and you are the partnership responsible for that partnership. You remain that. And according to this, and basically like the text you see here is literally copy pasted from the ER principle. So I will just tell you like the key things that are mentioned there. So according to expansion sales 2, you do not require a contract to be signed between the regional partner and the ISAC International or the regional office. And the revenue sharing model is basically the entity gets 30% of the revenue and the regional office gets 70%. Why regional office gets 70% is because you're selling the initiatives at the regional scale. The delivery will be by the regional office. So basically it's an additional revenue for your entity just to kind of bring it into the discussion for the partner, and you do not need to arrange anything else. And for example, like if your entity sells the regional conference, right now we have RPM and RFS coming up. So let's say your entity sells to your partner a keynote for 2,500 US dollars. So according to this, your entity gets 750 US dollars, like, which is literally like not based on delivery at all, but just for you to sell a regional touchpoint to your partner. The second one is the upscale sales model. So for this is basically when you see a possibility for a partner to actually have more of a regional scope instead of a national scope. So basically, according to the ER principles, your current partners can only have maximum 2 engagements on a regional scale or a global scale. And if it's more than that, then that basically means that it's of a regional scale. That partner is of regional scope or global scope, because if they're more interested in having those touch points, then it makes sense for us to upscale it to the regional or the global scale. And the text you see here again is like from the ER principles section of the, what do you call it, APIP booklet. And according to this, yes, the contract is transferred after your existing contract expires. The contract is transferred to ISAC International or the regional office. And according to that, the entity that is upscaling the partnership, so for example, just like hypothetical scenario, you upscale a partnership and that partnership ends up taking like global initiatives, global conferences, regional events. And in total, let's say it's 50,000 Canadian dollars. Let's say, because if it's being upscaled, it might be of that scope. So according to that, just for that amount, you would get an additional 5,000 Canadian dollars in addition. And your existing national touch points that the partner was already taking, it remains with you. And according to this, of course, like there would be a sharing model that would be applicable there, but that we can discuss together. And also, it is specifically mentioned, if you have any concerns that if you upscale a partner from your entity scale to the regional or the global scale, and that you might lose that partner, that you would lose money in that, that is not the case at all. And the ER principles specifically state that the member entity, regional office, and ISAC International must ensure that the upscaling process does not negatively affect the existing entity partnership. So it is mentioned in the ER principles that you would not have like any negative impact on that. So you continue that. And of course, like when it comes to the global and regional scale, that means more revenue for you because the pricing is also of the regional and global scope. So the second one is that. The third one is one of my favorite ones, which is the co-sales model. So basically, just a quick recap. The first one was the expansion sales model number 2. So in that case, you have existing partnership and you basically just pitch them the region initiatives. The second one is upscales model, which is again your existing partnership, but then you upscale it to the regional partner or global partner. This third one is not about your existing partnerships. Co-sales model is applicable where it's not an active contract. It's not an existing partner that your entity has, but you and I as the regional office or the global BD team as ISAC International, we approach a prospect together. We approach a company together to become a partner. And of course, it can go either way. It can even be, the ideal scenario would be that the partner at the end ends up taking regional initiatives as well as things from your national portfolio. But there is also a possibility, and that happens in most of the cases, that the partner might either take the national portfolio or just the regional or the global portfolio, because depending on the needs. And for the co-sales, of course, it would be applicable for the companies which are regional or global headquarters, or basically like the hub of the region or globally. And in this case, basically the party finding the lead and booking the meeting, you get, no matter what the outcome of the process is, if it's a national partnership or if it's a regional or global partnership, no matter what the outcome, in what direction the outcome is, as long as it is signed, the party finding the lead and booking the meeting will get 10% of the signed revenue. And the party delivering the GAP is basically the global amplifier product. So GAP is like your conferences, your events, and basically things not related to exchange. And that party gets 90% of the revenue. For example, let me take an example. If I bring you a lead, or if you are from ISEC in Pakistan, and I have a lead that might be interested in a regional partnership as well as a national partnership, and then I'm like, okay, like let's join forces and let's approach this company together, because it's the regional office is located in Pakistan. And then I contact Jalit and I'm like, okay, here's the company, and we have an inside contact in the company, and let's have a meeting with them. And then Jalit and I meet with this company together, and then we take forward like whichever direction it is heading. And either of us can choose to attend the future meetings or not. Like if we see that in the end it's more relevant just for ISEC in Pakistan and not for the regional office, then I can choose to be there in the future meetings, or I can choose to just refer it to Jalit and then he can take it forward, or vice versa. Like if I see more it's for the regional scope and not that much for the entity scope, then he can choose to not be in the future meetings. But as long as, you know, there is a mutual understanding, so it's kind of chill. And once the amount is signed, or once the partnership is confirmed, whoever brought the referral or whoever found the lead and booked the meeting would get 10% of the amount, and however much that amount is. So for example, right now, I have like a success story, an almost success story, because we are almost finalizing the contract and like it's in the process of signing right now. So it's together with ISEC in Malaysia. So in May 2021, in the previous MC term, so GIE, who was a former MCVPBD, she brought a lead from Salesforce APAC. And basically like we had a meeting together with them, and they were very much interested in a train the sellers program, as well as the regional innovation challenge we have coming up. And in August 2021, they confirmed the regional partnership proposal of both the touch points. They were not that much into the national ones, so it moved towards more in the regional scope of the partnership. And the proposal amount is worth $10,000. So according to this, once it's invoiced and once it's credited, ISEC in Malaysia would get $1,000 of the whole partnership amount, which is like the 10% of the amount. And the deliveries, of course, because it's just regional touch points, so the delivery would be entirely on the regional office. So it's an additional one. And right now, like Jen Chuen is also always in loop until like we sign the contract and everything, and then we can take things forward and also bring the partnership to other entities as well. So yeah, basically like these are the three models that would be like super relevant for you and that might be of interest to you. And the next steps for like all the interested entities that you think would have possibilities or scope for engaging in these models, have a look at the regional proposal. Again, I will share it with you here, and get in touch with me in case your entity has interest to sell the portfolio. Don't directly have a look and don't directly start pitching it to your partners, because then it creates misalignment together with me, because if I'm not aware, then I will not be able to promise you like a slot for your partner. And include the regional portfolio. Like if you're including it, I mean, it saves both of our efforts for the future. Like you will never know that there is a regional scope until you talk to your partner. Of course, like it's also your understanding if the partner has like that big of a scope and if they would have budget. But of course, like start including your regional portfolio in the sales meetings. You never know where the opportunity might be there. And for 2022 regional proposal, it will be out very soon as well. So you can also keep that in mind. And like if you have a feedback on the pricing for the proposal, approach me or Utso or Jika. Like we are all working together as the regional sales team. So we are there to support you. And we really, really want to work together with the entities. Of course, me as the regional manager for BD, one of my like MOS is bringing revenue in for the regional office. Of course, like it is there for me, but how we want to do it is together with the entities. And that is showing a lot of good results. And that is the way that we want to continue in the future as well. So yes, this is it from my side. Basically, the summary for the 2021 events that are there are: one is RPM, which is 30 and 31st of October, the RFS, which is the MCVP Summit, 6th and 7th of November, and the Asia Pacific Innovation Challenge, which is 13th and 14th of November. Basically, all of them are November. Yeah, that is it. Any questions? I hope there might be a lot.
Thank you so much, Sumi. You can stop sharing screen. I can share mine. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Sumi, for the presentation. I know everyone is shy. That's why we have Slido. So you don't have to expose yourself on Zoom. So you can either go to slido.com and insert the code 897244, or you can simply scan the QR code. So you can type like any questions that you have, and you can have multiple answers. So basically you can type in as many questions as you want. So yeah, let's have around like maybe 20 to 30 seconds, wait for you guys to type in your questions, and we'll see what everyone has to ask. So the questions can be anything, like related to the touch points, the revenue sharing model, or any clarifications you need, or simply if you're confused about like what to say when it comes to regional touch points, you can also let us know. Or like quite simply, if you're confused with the math of the model, then you can ask us. If there's any high-level questions as well, you can feel free to shoot them, and we'd love to answer it. Yeah. And Sumi has just sent the proposal out to you guys, which yeah, we'll also send later on Telegram, so you guys can have a look at that. And of course, we'll release these slides as well. But for now, feel free to ask or type your questions. Okay, so I guess should be fine. Then let me go to Slido.
There is one in audience Q&A tab.
Yep.
Okay.
So this is the question. What is the minimum partnership amount we're looking at to share the revenue?
So we have already created the pricing packages that you will see in the regional proposal that I've shared. But again, we are open to making like small adjustments to the pricing according to your entity, but not that much, because of course, like if it's of a regional scope, then we don't want to underprice our, the exposure that we are giving to a partner on a regional scale. So the pricing you will already see in the touch points. But if there is something else, something new other than the existing touch points that you're looking at, then we are open to kind of co-creating new pricing depending on the touch point that would be there. But of course, like it should be kind of worth the effort that you are putting, as well as like it should also be an amount that is big enough to make like matter to you, as well as also kind of worthy of what the effort region office puts in the delivery as well. And the another example, another question I see is here: how does expansion sales work from one entity to another? So for the on an entity scale, it's not the expansion sales model, but I would suggest you to check the cross sales model. in the ER principles. So that is what would be applicable there, or if there is something else, I will let you know, but it's not expansion sales. Expansion sales is basically from an entity to the regional or global scope. Yes.
Any other questions? Yeah, don't feel shy. It's your moment to clarify.
If we were to customize the touch point, how would the pricing be created? So we would take, of course, a reference from the global pricing that is mentioned in the ER principles, but we don't have to strictly follow it. But I mean, we would aim to follow that, because if it's again a regional touch point or something, it requires, or I mean, it should be justifiable. It should not be that comparable to what you charge on a national scale. So it would be higher than what you charge in the national scale, of course. Apart from this, how the pricing is going, we will take reference from how our general conference pricing is, how our general world's largest lesson pricing is, or the sales train the sellers program that we are creating. Like, we take references from the past engagements, and also kind of we also consider what is the budget capacity of the partner itself, and if their budget is enough, and of course if it's enough, then we go for a higher package. But if it's not that much, then we try to reduce the deliverables and still try to make sure like it is something that we can do. But if it is too low, then like I would be honest with you, and then you can take it forward on a national scale only. Okay, if you were to go, what is the minimum partner? This is done. Who will be the HR, the MCVPBD or EST? How about for the regional side? For the for the MC side, the question is for you, like who would be responsible for it. Ideally, I would recommend for you to be responsible, so that you are aware, or I would recommend you to be the contact person for the regional office. And how you do sales in your entity is entirely up to you. Like, it can be your ESTs who are pitching the regional touch points to the partners, as long as I am aware of it. But like, my contact person should be you. And from the regional side, it would be like one of the three of us, like me, Jika, or Utso here. And yeah, depending on which entity it is, and some of the entities I am responsible for, some of the entities Utso is responsible for, some of the entities Jika is responsible for. But in general, like, we have a good communication flow, so like it wouldn't be that much of an issue from our side. But from your side, again, who does sales or who does prospecting and everything is entirely up to you, if you want to be the one doing it or your EST. But the contact person should be you, because like then it should not get confusing. What is the criteria for prospecting? Can startups be considered? Anyone can be considered, as long as you think they have budget, because the thing is, like, if you are considering startups, and usually they have budgetary restrictions. So I would recommend you like to do your research, and of course, like, have a meeting or something with them to check what is their financial state, and what is like how their work connects, or what their needs are exactly, and if that is something that we can offer to them on a regional scale or not, or even on your entity scale. And if that is something that you see that is relevant, then you refer it, or then you approach me, and then we take it forward. And if not, then like we decide not to take it forward, because like, again, you are also putting in your time, and if in the end it's not something that will work out, then I will also not waste your time. I value your time as well. What if the prospect ends up wanting to do something else with RO? Like, what do you mean? I mean, there is always a possibility that the prospect would want to do something else, but I am not sure if I understand it correctly. Like, something else than regional.
Maybe like a customized partnership, like maybe I don't know, like train the financiers or train the sellers, stuff like that.
So like I said, like, we are more than open to doing that. Like, ISEC in Asia Pacific. We are the region that is like literally like definitely the one that is leading in BD innovation, and not saying from the regional office perspective, but like from the region's perspective, like all of you are doing like a lot of BD innovation in your entities that like the rest of the network is not. So we are definitely open to doing something that connects, as long as it connects to ISEC's brand and something that creates value together through the partnership and does not contradict with our exchange products. We are open to it and engages young people, of course. For example, train the sellers is not something that was in our portfolio, but then we had a meeting with the Salesforce, and when we saw like, yes, our MCVP BD commission is like super talented. So like, and we always talk about upskilling them. So, and Salesforce is like a world-known name. So like, why not pitch something like this? And they were super interested, and that's how we kind of created that. So it was not something that was before. And based on this, if this works out, and I highly, highly recommend you to engage as many of your ESTs or your LCVPs BD with Train the Sellers program, because if we manage to do this, it would be an extremely, extremely good GCP for us to bring partner driven education for other commissions as well in the future. And also, of course, it is something that is going to bring value to as well. So yes, anything else?
I think no other questions. So we can stop the Q&A here. Maybe a final call, yeah, on Zoom, or if you want to unmute yourself, you can let us know. Don't worry, like we'll send the regional portfolio and also the slides that Zoom use later, and the Zoom recording as well. So yeah, I think in case you have missed anything or you want to share it with your ESTs, it's totally fine. And yeah, I think we are done with what we had to cover. So I mean, we still have quite some time left, so it would be kind of nice if you guys want to unmute yourself or show your camera and maybe let us know like how is sales going for you, and in specific, like anything you want to know from us can be beyond this topic. We're here anyway, so if you want to leave, you can leave first. If you want to stay, you can feel free to, yeah, ask us anything or talk to us. Like, we are still committed to be here for at least 26 minutes, so you can utilize the time. It's rare that we have everyone in the commission together, so yeah, feel free to stay or leave. And if you want to stay, you can feel free to share like how sales going for you, and yep, how are things in your end, if any questions related to what we covered. So yep, yeah. Oh, no worries, Akar. You're most welcome. I remember, Akar, last time you asked me about this, so here you go. I'm sure Myanmar can do some amazing co-sales with Arab, so no worries. How about the others? Okay, everyone is shy. No worries. Then, yeah. So we'll be having a few more touch points, and we'll of course be giving education from time to time. But actually, you can find all the materials if you just search for it. Like everything should be there in the BD Hub, and also like you'll always find it, no matter it's on the global resources or regional resources. And like Sumi mentioned, please remember to register for Train Sellers, and also encourage your entity peeps to do so. Dear Jika has put in a lot of effort for this project in terms of really like promoting it to you guys. So please do sign up, and I'm sure it's going to be very beneficial. And yeah, stay tuned for more spaces like this. In case you have any questions, you can always shoot us a telegram to Sumi, Sarah, Jika, or me. So yeah, that's it for tonight then. Have a good rest and see you soon. So